Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to the ACE RMO 2024 Timaru webinar. My name is Georgina. I'm the ACE RMO consultant. We're going to start off with an opening karakia, and then I'll give everyone a brief outline of today's webinar. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mā kina kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai, e hi ake ana, te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, Tihe Moriora. So thank you everyone for taking the time to join today's webinar. We'll move on to the panelists' introductions very shortly. During this webinar, we will have a presentation presented by our panelists, and then our RMOs will talk a little bit more about their experiences in the hospital as a PGY1. Towards the end of the webinar, we will have a live Q&A session, and then we'll finally close off with a closing karakia. A reminder that all questions can be dropped in the Q&A box below your screen. If you have a burning question, you can do that right now, but they will only be looked at towards the end of the session and they will be answered live.
Hi everyone, my name is RMO. I'm the RMO Unit Manager at Timaru Hospital.
Kia ora, ko Jordan Freire te koinga. I'm one of the PGY2s working at Timaru Hospital.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko anu tōku ingoa. I'm one of the PGY1s working here in Timaru Hospital.
Thank you and welcome.
Thanks, Marina. So today we'll be talking a lot about what our own recruitment process looks like and what we'll be looking for from your ACE application. So I've prepared a small presentation that will take you through what our district has to offer, why South Canterbury, and what we look for in your ACE application. So what makes South Canterbury a great region? So Timaru Hospital is located in a large coastal town, 2 hours between Christchurch and Dunedin. Here in South Canterbury, we are very lucky to be close to numerous outdoor activities such as skiing, tramping, and climbing. We're within easy reach of the lakes, rivers, and mountains. Timaru has a good range of cafes, bars, and restaurants. Health New Zealand South Canterbury has 2 holiday homes in Tekapo, which staff can rent. Why South Canterbury? You will gain valuable hands-on experience directly with our consultants. You will feel like a valued member of our team where the consultants will know you by name. Your work-lifestyle balance is good here. There are only 7 registrars in Timaru and a small number of medical students, so you will gain far more experience. Whatever run you do, there are always opportunities to branch out and see a wide range of clinical scenarios. We encourage you to come and visit us. This gives you an opportunity to meet with me and ask any questions you may have. I'll arrange for you to meet with one of our current house officers so they can give you a tour of the hospital. It also gives you an opportunity to ask them questions and to find out what it was really like to work at Gisborne Hospital. So in order to arrange a visit, you can get in contact with me. My emails are on the ACE employer information sheet. What makes a successful ACE application in Timaru? So here in Timaru, we don't conduct interviews, therefore we place more importance on your cover letter. This is your opportunity to tell us about yourself, why Timaru, and what you can bring to our medical team. With only a number of registrars and a relatively small house officer cohort, candidates need to be have a reasonably high level of academic achievement and clinical competence. Candidates must be able to demonstrate the following characteristics: be a supportive team member, self-confident, aware of your limitations, a clear understanding of the Timaru Hospital environment, flexible attitude and resilience, excellent communication skills, a strong desire to work here. So when reviewing your ACE applications, we take the following into consideration: a cover letter, CV, personal statement, references, specifically looking for an outstanding comment, your ACE score, clinical competence and academic achievement, your ties to the region via community or family, your fit to our region, and active interest in Timaru. The timeline for reviewing the applications in Timaru. So here at Timaru Hospital, I will review every application received. And this is carried out over the week following receiving your applications. And after this, we have 2 weeks to rank all the applications. This is done in conjunction with our 2 pre-vocational educational supervisors. If you have any questions during this time, you are more than welcome to contact me. So Timaru is 2 hours from Christchurch and Dunedin, 3 hours from Wanaka, 4 to 5 hours from the West Coast, and 4 hours from Queenstown. We're a secondary centre offering general and trauma services, We provide care to the Timaru, Mackenzie and Waimate districts. We also receive overflow from Waitaki and Ashburn districts. We have a close-knit team of 27 house officers and 7 registrars, currently including 7 PGY1. There are study and training opportunities, which maybe Arlen Jordan could talk more about.
Yeah, so it's like the team is really good at accepting a lot of the training and like study experiences. So, for example, this year I in PGY2 I was essentially when you start getting study grants, but I've signed up for the postgraduate diploma in surgical anatomy, which requires two-week blocks off. And that was arrangements were made for that to get done through study leave, and Gisborne Hospital funded, and the process was really easy. All you did was chat to your clinical supervisor. Everyone's more than happy to help, and so and from a formal study perspective, they're really good at getting you those extracurricular study opportunities. Additionally, a lot of those surgeons here and medical officers are quite keen when it comes to things like audits and case studies, and so they're always keeping an eye out for new things. So anything else you're looking for to sort of decorate your CV, they're more than happy to provide. And it's not pushed on you. You don't have to do any of those things, but if you're keen and you want to do those things, then they're more than willing to help and facilitate that. Also we've got we've got ED teaching, and we've got this general teaching twice a week, an hour for each session. They're really good sessions, a lot of practical skills you learn in those times, especially it's quite valuable for when you're later doing ED work and other stuff on the ward, like having run through around the training scenarios. It's quite helpful.
So we have some basic runs for PGY1 here, aged care, general medicine, general surgery and orthopedics. There are additional runs for PGY2 and beyond. These are anaesthetics and ICU, emergency medicine. You do a community-based attachment in GP or mental health, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, and we also get our PGY2 to do 1/4 of relief. So rostered shifts are Monday to Friday, 8 till 4, weekends and long days. So a medical weekend is one day 8 till 4 and one day 8 till 10, which is a long day. A surgical weekend is 2 days, 8 till 10.
And just regards to the hours as well, like I know in a lot of other hospitals, I did my intern here in Christchurch. Like the hours say 8 till 4, but you're starting at 7 and you're working through to 6. Like Timaru Hospital very much is 8 till 4 most of the time. Like you arrive at 7:45 and you finish at 4 most days on the dot. And the overtime is rostered and paid in your salary. So yeah, I'd say the work hours and then therefore after work life balance is quite good here in Timaru.
And you'll start on night shift 6 months into PGY1. At this stage, these are in pairs, and you cover ED and the hospital, and these shifts are 10 till 8. So you have our weekly protected teaching time. There's ED teaching and also intern teaching. There's hands-on opportunities on the wards and clinic and in theatre. There's opportunities to do hospital run courses such as ACLS, newborn life support, and PROMPT, which is our obstetric course. You can also take part in audits, and in PGY2 there is more opportunity to branch out into further study externally.
Just circling back to those hands-on opportunities on the wards and in clinics and theatres. Often you'll be first assist when you are in theatre, which is really a unique situation. If you're in a bigger tertiary centre, it'll probably not until you're a junior registrar maybe till you'll get your foot in the door to be able to get that sort of experience. And even on the wards, we get to do a lot of procedures under the guidance of consultants. So you become quite adequate at doing things that people that are much more senior than you and other centres probably wouldn't have the opportunity of doing until much later on in their training.
Yeah, I think one of the big things at Timaru is you really do get out of what you put in, and so for example, in PGY1 we're doing things like femoral nerve blocks, which in other centres you probably didn't get a chance to do that till later on. And several the PGY2s and 3s that have taken a central role in a lot of the operations, performing as a house officer, like orthopedic operations independently, just with some minimal oversight from the consultant on the same time. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. Sort of, you really sort of thrive if you're keen and you get to get involved.
So you guys might be able to talk more about the day in the life of a house officer on a medical run or surgical run.
Okay, medical usage. Yeah.
So I'm currently on my medical run, so my day begins at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I usually come in a bit earlier just to prepare and see if anything's changed overnight. We go to a big handover meeting, talk about the patients, have an MDT meeting, and then we begin on our ward rounds, which are pretty stock standard across the board. More often than not, consultants will have clinics, and sometimes they'll bring patients in for some interesting procedures, which you will most likely get to play a role in doing some of it, if not all of it, under their guidance. And then you also will accept, your consultants will accept admissions, and you'll be involved in the process of clerking them, and if there's any problem solving associated with the admission, you're the go-to.
And surgical runs similar, so generally start a little bit earlier because you have to get the notes prepped prior to the ward rounds, because the consultants on surgery generally, as in most hospitals, round quite quickly. So you usually run around 7:30, prep the note, then you round. After that is either theatre or clinics, which depending on what consultant you're following, go to either one of them. The clinics are quite involved, you'll be seeing patients by yourself, taking notes, doing dictations. And yeah, as earlier said before, you got theatre where you'll either be either you, the registrar and the consultant, or even just you and the consultant, or even just you and the registrar. There's a lot of opportunity to get involved, lots of suturing, lots of procedure work. So yeah, it's really good. Admissions, you do a lot of this independently. So you get quite good at doing admissions and putting the work up and sort of full treatment process for most patients. And yeah, then as I said earlier, there's the consultants are always looking for people to help them out with bits and pieces of research and audits and case studies and things like that.
You get quite good at formulating management plans, so the training wheels do come off pretty quickly, and your confidence does grow quite quickly here as well.
Like we said earlier, the wider Timaru District, Central South Island can offer ski fields, specifically Mount Hart, Mount Dobson, O'Hare and Round Hill. There's also getaway opportunities to Aoraki Cook National Park, Tekapo and Twizel, and we're the gateway to Central Otago and Queenstown.
Pretty ideal location.
Yeah, and lots of the house officers will do skiing and bits and pieces on the weekends, especially in winter. Lots of surfing groups, ski groups, social events on place usually once or every.
We're quite a social bunch. I mean, we all hang out together and decompress and.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. One of the questions is, what do you look for in an applicant? Like, what are the key things when you're assessing the applications?
So we're looking for people with relatively high level clinical competence, people that are able to work on their own and take initiative.
Cool, thank you. So I assume that a cover letter would be very important then.
Yes, yeah. But I like I said earlier, I read every single application. So your cover letter is your opportunity to introduce yourself to us and tell your story basically.
Thank you. Would it be best to address it to you then, Aaron, the cover letter?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool, thank you. Next question. Would you allow a Q2 start?
Well, we would expect our PGY1s to start in January.
Cool, thank you. What are the food options like at the hospital?
Yeah, I'm quite okay like, it's all right. Like I wouldn't write home about it. There's some good days and bad days.
I mean, they're getting more creative, right?
Yeah.
They've gone beyond 50 Shades of Beige now.
Yeah.
We're getting purple balls and a bit more colour.
Yeah.
So
Mac and cheese is good. Yeah. And you can, if you really want to, you can join the Stones, opt out and get the allowance to do your own meals instead. They've got frozen meals. It's fine. It's work. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. How about the parking? Is it the paid parking or free parking?
parking is no problem at all.
You park right up next to the door.
Cool, that sounds good. One of the questions that I usually get from applicants is, does it matter or disadvantage the application if there are two references from the same run? Like it's different SMOs, but it's just from the same run.
That shouldn't disadvantage you here.
Cool, thank you. Like you said in the presentation before, there's no interviews, right, Aaron?
Yeah.
Cool. So do you normally just assess the applications and then contact them via call, or how does it work?
So we sit down and review all the applications, myself, the peers, and a couple of other senior doctors. And if we require more information, we would reach out to them.
Cool. Will there be any disadvantages if the applicant isn't able to visit the hospital?
No, there shouldn't be any disadvantages. Like I said, we're happy to review all applications we receive.
Cool, thank you. Next question. What are the facilities like? Is there an on-site gym or is there like bike parking?
So we do have bike parking. We don't have a gym, but staff are eligible for discounted gym memberships in Timaru.
But I have a little RMO space as well,
Yeah.
which is a nice little area. Got a place to relax in, or just if we need to catch up on some work. It's a nice little space we've got there.
That sounds cool. What about the accommodation? What are the average costs usually?
Just median rent in Timaru.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to most places. Like I wouldn't say it's not particularly expensive. I don't know, I usually the house is about
Cost between 170 to 220
yeah.
maybe, would be the range of the rent.
If like a decent three-bedroom house might be $500 a week, so then if you split that between three, yeah, it's not particularly expensive. And you do get like a nice place for it. There's always a backyard. Yeah, it's good.
Cool, thank you. When it comes to the ranking and selection process, do you tend to favor the Otago graduates over the Auckland graduates a bit more, or is it a mixture of both?
We would consider them equally. We do have a higher proportion of Otago grads working here, but we have taken on Auckland grads in the past.
Perfect, thank you. All right. Are there anything else you wanted to add, Anu and Jordan? Any tips you would like to share with our applicants?
I guess my only bit of advice is that when you're starting out, it's easier to go from a smaller hospital to a bigger hospital in your training journey rather than the other way around. And I would kind of think in the long term, what do you want to get out of your career? Which vocation do you want to go towards? What skills do you want to learn? And how motivated are you to get there? I think those things are things you need to consider when deciding where you want to go, as well as your hobbies and passions.
Yeah, like from a personal perspective, Timaru is a great place to work. Like, you get amazing learning opportunities, you get a lot of independence, you learn a lot, you've got a very strong foundation set of skills, you get a lot of confidence as a doctor, you develop so much in, the couple of years you work here. Despite being, put under years of some pressure, sometimes you are well supported. The staff here are all really friendly, like, everyone gets along, there's no sort of peaks or anything like that. Everyone's very close, that, the outside personal life is great. There's plenty of, as we sort of talked about, there's skiing, there's tramping, if you're into outdoor activities, Timaru is the place to be. And if you like getting involved with your hospital work and you like to be challenged, but in a good way, then Timaru is the place to be. And if you don't like paperwork, Timaru is the place to be.
And the great thing is that all your consultants know you by name, so you're not another Commonweal, you're not just another house officer. Like, they will stop and chat to you, and they're interested in what you're doing outside of work as well, which is really lovely. So it's quite wholesome in that sense.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right. So we've got no more questions. So I'll think we will bring this to an end. If you do have any further questions that pop up in your mind after the webinar, you're welcome to email me or get in touch with Aaron directly. I'm sure he's happy to help. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pounamu te moana. Hei huarahi, mā tātou I te rangi nei. Aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou ia tātou katoa. Hui e, tai kie. Thank you, everybody.